What do you do when you've got a barbecue going and you really want to fly, but you're doing low and slow? We're going to do a day to night shot. We might have a little bit of Davinci Resolve going on here. We're going to go as high as possible over the town so that we don't worry people. Then we're going to create a waypoint mission that we're going to run right now. Then a little later on, we're going to run it again when it's dark. Going to hit record.
Oh, well, that will make a refreshing change.
Gimbal down a bit, and we'll probably come back a bit as well, because what I want to do is try to get this main road in the shot so that we have some nice car lights. I have to say that looks beautiful. We're at our start point, so we're going to hit the Waypoints button. We're going to set our first waypoint here by pressing the C1 button. And then we're going to fly forward all the way over to the second roundabout. And when we get there, we're going to pull the gimbal up so that we get 2/3 land and 1/3 sky. Let's move the gimbal up. And we're going to press the C1 button again. And that creates our second waypoint. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set the parameters of our flight. We do want this to be quite a lot faster, so we're going to make this about 8 meters per second. And that's it. That's all we need to do. We're just going to hit go. There we go. And it's turning around. So this is the first part of what we're doing. Oh, here we go. There we go. So the gimbal automatically went down. And now it's actually following the waypoint. And the gimbal should gradually move up. And what we'll do is film this again. So we'll save this waypoint. We'll send the drone up again with a fresh battery, and then we'll do a transition halfway through the flight to go from day to night. Okay, and we're returning to home now. Shouldn't take long. We've still got P mode on here. What does the P mean?
Oh, grow up, 007.
I don't know. Here she comes. My God, that was a good landing. I didn't touch that. That was pretty good. Now I'm going to click on the little piece of paper icon and save the waypoint. So then I can load it up from my waypoints list tonight. I'll see you in a few hours. Good old reliable British weather. It started raining last night and continued to rain today, but the weather forecast is looking promising for this evening, so hopefully I'll be able to get back out there and film the second part of the day to night transition edit. In the meantime, if you could consider hitting like on this video and subscribing, that would be really helpful. It helps the algorithm and helps get these sort of videos out to more people that like this sort of stuff. Thanks a lot. Let's get back to it. Okay, it's finally stopped raining. So now we can get the Mini 4 Pro up in the air. I've got my strobe on, so this should be a fairly quick affair. Right, I'm going to load my waypoint mission in before I take off. Okay, that's loaded in. Time for takeoff. I've just hit record.
Oh, it's a miracle! Hallelujah!
And now I'm going to click on next and go, and it should go to the right place. Off it goes. Now, one thing to remember is that when you're doing these sorts of flights with waypoints, you do need to take off from exactly the same place and exactly the same height. Beautiful view of the main road there. Strobe is showing up nice. Right, that's hit its first spot and it's turning round and it's starting its run. Strobe is showing up beautifully. Do you know what? We're going to do one run in this mode and another run in night mode and see what the difference is. So We switch to night mode. Wow, look at that. And then do remember to start recording. Bring up our waypoints, hit go, and off we go. So we'll get ourselves back to the right position again, just automatically flying back to waypoint 1, and then fly this again in what looks like an awesome night mode. There it is. Sorry about the dripping gutter. There were promises made about a repair on that really weren't kept. Okay, on the second run. Those lights are beautiful. Yeah, I'll definitely use this second run for the transition edit, but I'll put them next to each other so you can see the difference. These wet trees don't help. I'm staying in visual line of sight, but it is just going behind some trees, and obviously there is a lot of moisture on the leaves. Okay, there we go. She'll be on her way back now. There she is. There she comes. I don't know if she'll be able to land at exactly the same place again in the dark. It'll be fun finding out. I've got my finger ready on the pause button, just in case. Not a bad landing. Right, let's go and get the files off her. And we'll head into the editing suite. Well, it's my dining room. Oh good, you're still here. Right, well, I originally said that I was going to show you a comparison of night mode versus standard mode. Now I've done what I can with this, and I've done an awful lot of color grading, but this is the comparison just here. Now you can see all of the color grading I've had to do here. Let me just switch it off and switch it on again. It's the left-hand side that is the standard mode, and the right-hand side is night mode. You can see I've really had to push a lot here. I've had to really push the shadows. I've had to absolutely change the temperature. And if we go in and just have a look at this, there we go. So you can see this is the standard mode, and I've had to push everything, and everything is very, very noisy in this picture. Let's just forward this, and we'll wipe over to the night mode, and you can see there's a lot more detail there, very little noise. And we'll go back to standard mode, and you can see them both side by side there. So we can see that the night mode really does make things pop and gives a much more natural look, and you don't have to push the ISO because it compensates for that. Now I'm using Davinci Resolve here, but just about any editing package has these similar functions. So let's dive in. Okay, so I've got a clean open timeline here, and I'm going to drag my day clip down to the first track and my night clip down to the second track here. The first thing I try to do is find where I want to put the transition, and then try to make sure that both video tracks are actually matched up. So this looks like a good place. We've got the roundabout right here in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're just going to compare the two. Switch off that video track, which is the night track, and switch it on again. They seem fairly close, but you'll notice there that it's very slightly off. The night track is very slightly over to the right. So what are we going to do with that? Well, we can open up our inspector and we can move the position a bit. So let's just move that over slightly, and let's have a look at the difference here. It still needs to go slightly further to the left, doesn't it? So let's shift it over a bit more. How's that looking? That's looking closer. It still doesn't seem quite right. So there's something that can help us here. If we go into effects and go into there and pull an adjustment clip in, we can then put a grid on the top. So let's just search for grid. There's a grid, we'll stick that on there. So this can really help us now. What we had done was probably sufficient, but I'm a little bit OCD with some of these things. I will spend hours sorting it out when it really probably only needs minutes. So let's have a look. Let's do the same again so we can see that the roundabout is in this square here. Switch that off. That's looking pretty much spot on. I'll just make a very slight adjustment here. Now we can see up here, this roundabout is moving around. It's just very slightly off. So this is probably where the Mini 4 Pro was just on a very slightly different course. I mean, the Mini 4 Pro is ingenious, but there are a lot of variables that can make its course change just very slightly. So how are we going to sort this out? This looks like a slight angle change here. This roundabout here needs to come over to the right a bit. So we're going to change the rotation angle just very slightly. So let's just shift that across slightly. Now let's have a look. That's looking pretty much perfect. We've got a sign just there and we can see it in the dark as well. It's just there. That's brilliant. Let's move and just zoom in here. I'm just going to shift that very slightly back there. So we've got a lamp post. We'll put that lamp post right where that line is. That's looking pretty much spot on. Oh, no. Now look at that. What's happened there? Well, where we've been fiddling around, of course, we've had to adjust for the night flight course. And we've got these gaps here. So what are we going to do? Fairly easy. We're just going to zoom in on both tracks until that's gone. There we go. Yeah, nothing poking out the sides. Okay, we can get rid of our adjustment clip. Let's now put our split in here. Disable the first part of the track. How does that look? Lovely. We've even got a car in almost the same position in both shots. I have never seen Westbury looking so gorgeous. In fact, I've never seen Westbury looking gorgeous, so this is pretty good. That's a lot better. It's less jarring, but it's still a little jarring, isn't it? Let's put a nice transition in here. We'll use just a simple cross dissolve here. Drop that in. Let's stretch it out so that we've got a nice transition from day to night. There we go. Let's have a look. How does this look? Beautiful. I think I've still got some alterations to make here. Nice. So I think we've got that. You can cut as many times in the clip as you want. I spent ages this morning playing around with lots of different transitions.
You are a nerd.
Let's just highlight this. Let's put a split there, split there, split there, one there, one there. Let's have a look at that. Transitions into night and then back into day. So play around with the transitions, do what you want. At the end of the day, this is great footage to use for B-roll, especially if you're doing something which is introducing a town or a local area, or if you're on holiday and you want to capture that casino strip or something. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.